I got a hold of a 4-track cassette recorder and started trying to multi-track my drums. As I got out of high school and into college, guys I played in bands with, we could get a gig. If we had a decent demo, there was a local recording studio in Albuquerque we went into to make an actual record. That's when my brain really exploded and I started kind of understanding what could be done. I showed up here after having spent a lot of years recording things on my own, and I knew there was a lot I didn't know. I just felt like a sponge. I mean, I felt like there were these big open spaces in my brain that people started pouring things into. Those instructors just met me where I was and encouraged me to cut loose and go do something. I think I got obsessed with video games really early on. Sometime in the early 80s, the first real arcade opened. There came a point in middle school where we were probably there every day. Being a huge fan of games and game music, naively I thought, well, I can do that. Like it was just this easy thing to do. And I ended up just making like a record's worth of stuff. And I had no idea how to get it in front of people. So in 2005, I went to the Game Developers Conference, and there was an event where you could have your music played for like a panel of industry experts. Everything that got played was a really elaborate, fully produced sounding orchestral mock-up. I was way down the list, and I've got this demo that's just like waiting there like a time bomb for them to listen to, that's like recordings I made on city buses that I cut together to make grooves with, sort of broken sounding thing. They finally put on my demo. All the guys on the panel were like, I love this. The head of music at Sony PlayStation, I watched him grab my CD and leave. I chased him down the street and said, that's my CD you got there. And he was like, we should talk sometime. And I said, well, I've been emailing you for like a year. And he laughed and he said, well, squeaky wheel gets the grease. And he walked off. Eventually, someone on his team asked me if I would be interested in doing a custom demo for a game they were working on. And as a gamer, I had a lot of strong opinions, wishing that the music was more reactive to like things that were going on throughout the game. We take a 2-minute piece of music and make 30 or 40 variations of it. Word started to spread, and so our team grew really fast. Like, it was just me and 1 or 2 other people, and suddenly there were like 8 or 10 of us. And I think in 2007, I was working on like 8 or 9 games at a time. One of the reasons I thought we were able to do some of the best work in the industry, it was because we were handed some of the best projects. We always said it takes a great vehicle to put a great game score out. So this is a small condensed version of the conductor's score for the first Last of Us game. T1 was the code name. I was lucky to get to create some additional music for the game as a composer. Some of the like stealth action sequences with some of the infected in the game and just some of the humans that you did battle with. I remember the day we got the story pitch for the first time. I mean, I was so moved, thought I was gonna cry. I think everyone in the room was just shocked to have heard a story so great in the first place, and then also to think, holy crap, we get to like make this thing. One of the things that made me want to make a change, my wife and I, we only have 1 kid. The intense amount of time I was spending away from home were causing me to miss a lot of experiences. I've saved all these things. I mean, I hope you're having a good time in LA. Thanks for listening to me and introducing me to cool music. It's just so important to not miss this stuff. Starting my own company, getting to that point seemed like such a daunting, overwhelming thing to me. I finally pulled the trigger, and our first project out of the gate was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Just not a small project to take on. And so I was immediately hiring people to help, and it worked. It worked like it had before, but it was so much more fun for me because just boiling down everything I'd been doing over the years to the very essence of the thing that really was important to me, and getting to do that every day. It's very strange, even though I've been doing this for a long time, to see my name there or to, have it be something I worked on, because I think in my head, I tend to be on to the next thing. Every time one of these is completed or comes out, I hope that I get to do another one. That's kind of usually where my mind goes.
I trust Jonathan implicitly. He knows exactly what it is he's doing, far exceeds my own knowledge. And day-to-day into a video game is stress most days. And having somebody that can stand by your side and know exactly what it is you're going through and support you through that is the most invaluable part of any partnership. He just gives everything all the time.
To induct Jonathan Mayer, please welcome Jonathan's friend, Stephen Miller, Studio Audio Director at Infinity Ward.
It is a real honor to be able to do this. Tonight, we celebrate an incredible talent whose impact on the industry is undeniable. Jonathan Mayer. But before we bring him up, we have a special message for him, someone who knows his journey well. Let's take a look.
Just want to give a super heartfelt congrats on your induction. It's wildly well-deserved. You've been making amazing music for so long, and it's touched so many people's lives, and it's really great to see all that creativity and talent and hard work honored. Personally, you've been an amazing friend and mentor and collaborator and a human being that I have so much respect for, given your integrity and your thoughtfulness and your compassion. So congrats again, man. It's a pleasure to work alongside you, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes you next.
We're all wishing you great success, continued success, and you're going to reach those new heights. I guarantee it. I know for sure. Rock on, brother. Take care.
Now, please join me in welcoming our newest Hall of Fame inductee, Jonathan Mayer.
I was joking last night when I said I might just stand here for 3 minutes and cry, but now it seems like that might actually happen. Okay, Stephen, thank you so much. You know, the reason I asked Stephen to do this is because Stephen believed in me at a time when I really didn't, and those kind of people just don't come along very often. And he saw my path when I couldn't see it, and for that belief, that kindness, and that support, I can never thank you enough. But I love you, and I'm so happy you're here. So this journey, this Hall of Fame journey, over the last several months, I've been thinking a lot about my journey and his story. And I had a few things I wanted to add to that amazing story that the Platinum Creative Team put together. You know, after I got out of high school, I thought I knew what I wanted to do, and then I immediately discovered that I didn't. And I went to a lot of schools, a lot of different schools. I was kind of wandering around, sorry, Mom. I majored in a lot of different things, and nothing stuck. And eventually I graduated. I have an anthropology degree, which is super useful. And then I just kept wandering. And one day, thanks to Mom, I discovered Full Sail. I think she got tired of me, showing up with nothing going on. And like so many of us, I walked in the door here on my first tour, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm home. And so when I graduated, my dream, the dream I wanted to follow, was just to work in a recording studio. I'd do anything. I'd clean. It didn't matter. But one of the questions I keep hearing, and the things we talk about every time I come back or every time I engage with students, current students online, is about how everything's changing. And I think what's really interesting as I started thinking about this, in whatever industry we're talking about, is that it was like that back then too. So much so that, one of the studios that the school helped connect me with when I went out to San Francisco after graduation, I had an interview scheduled there and I showed up and they were closed. And I don't mean closed for the day. There was newspaper up on the door and a sign telling me where I could buy their equipment if I wanted to. But I did get a job, and just keeping with the theme of change, I got a job as a tape operator at a great studio. And shortly after that, I moved to being a Pro Tools operator because they weren't working with tape anymore, and things just kept changing. Then they sold the studio, so I had to figure out what to do after that. So I had a lot of other jobs, different kinds of jobs, more and more, everything you heard about in the story. And I just realized there was no way to, stop the constant change that was going on. But what I did learn is that we can meet that change with persistence and not resistance, and find our way. So why is any of this important? As people talk to me about this, as I did my interviews, I kept hearing from people that, they'd say, wow, you made some really brave choices. And I don't see it that way at all. They were obvious choices now that I look back on them, but it's because I wasn't chasing work, I wasn't chasing a job, I was following people. And people I could collaborate with, mentors. And when I found one like Stephen, that's how my course was plotted. So I'm not chasing work anymore. Well, technically I am, so, call me. But I'm not. I'm looking for people. I'm looking for my people, and that all started here. I found my people first when I came here. So now I just want to keep and honor those people who make it worth doing. My jobs over the years have been about work, but I think my career is about relationships. This is an overwhelming honor. It's going to take a long time for this to sink in. I've always looked at this alumni community as something magical and intangible that motivates me and inspires me every day. So receiving an honor like this from all of you in the Hall of Fame and the university just means everything. You've always shown so much love and support, or constant inspiration, and I'm going to do my best to just uphold everything you've taught me about what it means to be a member of this Hall of Fame. I want to thank Gary, Jay, the entire leadership team. This institution is one of a kind, and I think it's the greatest in the world. Sherry Tantliff and the alumni relations team, you guys are the glue that keeps this community together. I will never say no to you, ever. And Peter Jervis, my partner in a whole slew of crimes. You're the greatest. I love you. And I can't wait till we do something else together. The events team for all of this, the Platinum Creative team, I can't believe how great you make us all look. But most importantly, I want to just real quick thank my family. The persistence I mentioned, Mom, you gave me that. You made us tough enough to get through all this. You took me to musicals and concerts, and the way you revered art left an insane impression on me throughout life. My dad, who's no longer with us, I wish he could have seen this. He would have loved this. And he made me a big movie nerd, which is a huge part of who I am. My brother Tim, just taught me so much as a wonderful big brother. Some things we won't talk about here, but, and the thing about Tim that's so amazing, that's stuck with me my entire life, is there's no bigger music fan in the world than Tim Mayer. And he's the one who taught me that it's better to be a fan than a critic. And it's just made my work so much more fun, so thank you for that. And lastly, to my daughter, Lila, my wife, Andrea, I'm sorry you're not here. I miss you so much. Lila, you're the most amazing person in the world. You're strong, you're resilient, you're funny, and you demand that the world will be a better place through your actions and your attitude, and you make me optimistic about the future. And my wife, Andrea, none of this happens without you. You were here with me when I started this journey. 25 years ago, I proposed to you the weekend I graduated. And it's funny, we went out to dinner that night at Shell's, which is now Full Sail Labs. And we've been on this amazing journey ever since. You're just a singular beacon that I can spot in any darkness, and I love you so much. I just want to close by saying that when I found out my wife and daughter couldn't be here because my daughter became ill on Monday, she called me and we were both crying, and she said, "You have to enjoy this. You have to have a good time." And I said, "You don't have to worry about me because I have my Full Sail family with me." And I just want to thank you all for that. Thanks for this, and I love you.